Hello everyone, so we're going to continue our access to the database using ASP.NET. So in this demo, I'm going to show you how to update a record. So first thing to do is to add additional fields here on each row, edit and delete links so that when the user clicks the edit, that specific row's value will be loaded on another page and then the user can change the values and then save it again. So let's do it. So let's start with adding additional fields here on our table. Let's go to the source. Let's first change the header. Here in our header, we'll add two blank fields. Okay, just to give way for the edit and delete on the next row. And then here, we're going to have this one. We'll remove it. And then we'll have here edit. On the next part, we'll have delete. So in edit, we'll have an ahref tag. We're going to send the user to ASP edit.aspx edit.aspx, and then with the URL parameter ID, of which we are going to get it from here. Then insert it, or we could have stud ID here, and then the field that we are going to retrieve also is stud ID, so that the URL parameter is the stud ID of that specific record. Okay, so that's it. Let's check. So we see there two fields or two columns, edit and delete. You would also see that as you hover the value of the each link. So for example, the first row, stud ID is equal to 1, and then we have 2, 3, 4. So it depends on the ID number or the stud ID of that specific record. Alright. So having that, we are now going to create the edit.aspx page. We'll just add a page, web form, edit. So we have here edit. For the edit, we just remove other fields first. Okay. So inside the body, we are going to create a table showing the field, and then in the next column would be the text box where the value of the specific field can be changed. So we'll have here a table, tr, tr. On each row, we have two columns. The first column would be the field, so which is stud ID. Then the second column would be the text box. So here, we are going to use a simple HTML input text, and we'll name it stud ID. And we replicate the process, changing the text. For example, first name we have here, ID is equal to F name. We now have last name, we have L name. And then lastly, we have allowance. And then below it, we are going to insert a button, a submit button. Okay, with no text. Value is equal to save. Let's check our design. Okay, so this is how it would look like. We have here the different fields. Okay, and then we just check the names. Stud ID, this is F name, L name, allowance. All right. So the next process would be we are like retrieving a specific record, or we are like retrieving the records of TBL profile. No? The difference is that it's just a specific record, not all the records. So this should follow the same process with our index.aspx. So we'll just copy the code from index.aspx. Okay, same import. Then here, we'll copy this. Same process. So we'll just have it here inside the body. So an error for the while. So we'll end the while here. Maybe in this part. Okay, so end while. And then my data reader that close. So same process as what we did in the listing of record. My connection. Okay, so we'll now assume that we have the connection now. So the difference for the index and the edit is that we are going to have the where clause in our select statement. The where clause now will specify a specific record on that table. So where and then the condition. What would be the field? So if you can still remember, we have a URL parameter stud ID. So we have here where stud ID is equal to request that where string and then the URL parameter stud ID. So we now have the values. All we need to do now is to fill in these text boxes. The same process here. We just have to copy this format. We go back to edit. And to fill in a simple HTML input type text, we'll use the property value. Here, we have stud ID value equals fname value equals lname and then value equals allowance. Okay, So let's try this one. Click edit. For example, Alendanao. We're not able to retrieve allowance. Let's check the code. Oh yeah, value. Value equals. Alright, let's try it again. Okay, let's try to edit my check. And now we were able to retrieve the values from index.aspx. So that's it for the first part of how to update a record.